Hi Capricorn, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to do a reading for you. This is the second week of September 2020. This month I decided to offer a reading for all the signs. I normally read for Virgo. And it's something that I am getting better. I'm finding more ease as I getting accustomed to connect with so many people. I tap into that energy and sometimes could be quite challenging for me. But anyways, I am super excited to do this. I have my own style of reading cards. I use different oracles, but my focus mainly is in numerology. My aim is usually to give you the answers that will help you achieve success in whatever situation you're going through this cycle. I always see this as cycles, and it all dependent on you. It's dependent on how you feel. It's dependent on how you believe things to be, how you view the world, in relationships, in relationship to your personal life, and how your personal life is developing. So keep that in mind. So that's when I mean this is the cycle. It doesn't mean that it's permanent. It just means that it's the place where the energy is the moment, I should say, is the moment where I'm tapping into your energy and how that energy is transforming. So anyways, let's begin, Capricorn. So the first card, the number that opened up your reading was 45. And here's talking about life force. It's talking about the energy that is in everything. We're talking here about, let's remember that the life force that is running through your veins is the life force that is running through every person that you know. Is also the same energy that is running or is animating our reality. Different forms of it, right? Different degrees, but it's the same thing. So when we bring this into our personal life, especially to the people that we love or the people that we're connecting with, just remember, especially in those moments where there are difficulties, that that person's life force is the same as yours. And we gotta then to stop to think, well, what is the lesson here? What am I learning from this? What is this situation teaching me? And in this case, because the life force is expressed in many different ways, is reminding us of Aphrodite. So you could say that this life force can also be called love and is expressed in many different ways, right? And that love has a quality that gives us the ability to change the way we feel, to change the way we perceive things, and also to change our attitude. When I added this number, 4 plus 5, in Tarot happens to be number 9. I do not use the minor arcanas. I only use the major ones, the big ones. And there's only 22 cards. So here, as you could see, you're being represented by the energy of the Hermit. And what I'm seeing here right now, Capricorn, is that some of you may be going through a time where you feel alone. You feel like there's a power struggle. Things don't feel necessarily harmonious. You're not feeling at your best. And that sense of loneliness is kind of making you look at the past, looking, things from the past. And from that perspective, sometimes it may be challenging if we're choosing to look at the past and only see those things that don't make us feel good. Here I see a situation with someone. Now I'm being shown an older person and a younger person, and you can adapt it to your situation whichever way you like to, right? Whichever way works for you. So two people that have different age, think differently, and are having a power struggle. And in that power struggle, there were things that were said that, made both people overreact. And the younger one decided to distance herself because they're showing me this person as the feminine energy. And of course, again, you can adapt it to your story. But, this person chose to do that, not because they want to get away and, forget you, but more as the means to sort of let things cool down. On the other hand, you are being asked to reflect in this situation and ask yourself if you're being flexible enough. You're being shown here with the energy of the horse. It's very interesting because you have here your perfect representation of the element of Capricorn and the butterfly. So we know the horse comes with the element of earth the same way that you do. And these are personalities that sometimes might have been very wild at one point in their lives, but then they changed. And they started to create habits that made them sort of box themselves in that structure, and over long periods of time they just are so used to of behaving in that way that now they find it difficult to change. And here's where I want to remind you, Capricorn, that your planet or the celestial body that rules you is Saturn. And Saturn loves habits. The question that you got to ask yourself right now is if the habits that you're choosing to repeat are healthy. And just because they may work for you, it does not necessarily mean that may work for other people. So this person that you're dealing with may have different ways of looking at life and doing things that you do. And what does that do for you? Do you feel upset because you have an expectation that this person has to behave like you in order for you to feel better? I mean, these are questions that are coming up that you need to ask yourself. And here's where you're being reminded of that everybody's different. And that sometimes it is good to change. Sometimes we think that doing the same thing for, eons is the thing to do because it's what we're used to, even though it's not working for us. So when we have people that come into our life, especially like this person that I see that is someone who is very intuitive, somebody who they come with an energy, because here this person is being described, Capricorn, as someone with a quality to always inspire people to think outside the box. So these are people that, can feel very uncomfortable with those who are used to do the same thing over and over again. But they come to your life for that same reason, to help you stretch your wings and take a risk. Sometimes we need that. And this is where I picked a card. So interesting enough, I went to the other oracle, the Aboriginal oracle, which the ancestors have a tendency to share a little story to make a point. And I'm going to share the story because the card that came out for you was rebirth. And guess what? It comes with the butterfly. Now, if I would have tried to do that purposely, it wouldn't have worked as good as it did just shuffling and picking a card, right? So that speaks of synchronicity. And here the story goes that once upon a time there was a butterfly that was in her cocoon. And all of a sudden, one day, she noticed that her body was changing. And that made her feel very uncomfortable. But she decided to pay attention without, losing her cool. And soon enough, a wing grew her back, and all of a sudden she freaked out. Oh my God, what is happening to me? What is happening to me? But she continued to wait, and all of a sudden another wing popped out, and all of a sudden she's like, oh my goodness, what is happening? And there was a level of resistance to the change, but she couldn't deny that something was happening. Also, her body was becoming very large, and then one day, the cocoon broke, and she was able to stretch and stand her wings. And as she looked at the outside world, she realized that it was very large, and that made her afraid. But as she started to stretch and move her wings, she realized that she could use them to explore that reality, that although it was very, very, very large, but there was something attractive to it. Something was attracting her to do that and to take the risk. So once again, we have to now bring it to your own personal lives, and he's saying, there are times when we need to take risks in life so that we can see things from a different perspective, so that we can then also support the people that we love and not always butt heads. Okay? Because here the next card that is speaking is grace. It comes with the number 39, and it's talking about the Holy Spirit. And to me, this is an energy that is very much aligned to the life force that is in everything. And with grace, now we're being reminded that one of the ways that we can heal ourselves and we can heal that structure that sometimes we have that is so rigid is with the energy of grace and gratitude. When we start practicing every day, Capricorn, what we're thankful for. If you do this every morning, I'm thankful for all of these things, instead of being focused on things from the past that were not working your way or still not working your way. Here's also talking about, sometimes how people might have behaved in a particular way, and then they change completely. But now you're still looking and remembering what they did before, and that's not allowing you to embrace and enjoy the new them. And that's not healthy. That's not good for you, and it's not good for anyone. So here is talking about using the energy of grace as one of the doorways for you to start changing the way you see things, to start softening up a lot of those fear-based beliefs that you have in regards to this situation, in regards to this person, but also in general. And to also remember that there is instincts, there is intuition within you. Are you using it? So now we have another quality. Are you using grace enough? Gratitude? Are you using your instincts? Are you paying attention to them? With the energy of instincts comes our inner child, right? So our inner child, it's that aspect of us that is very flexible. And it reminds us that, we always have the opportunity to look at life from a different lens, to explore a little, to have fun, to be light. And instincts is an attribute that we have, Capricorn, that it's always leading us in the right direction, always. So now there is the question that is being asked: are you too much in your head, or can you be, as flexible to move that energy from your head to your heart, right? Are you paying to your instincts? Your instincts communicate very different than your head. And when you are relying on those instincts, and then you have better opportunities and a better attitude to respond to a situation, especially with someone that has a level of similarity here, because they come with as a Virgo. They come also with the element of earth. So here's where this phrase comes from, that two bulls cannot drink from the same fountain. So, you're butting heads to people that can be stubborn. Yet, the person here that you're dealing with, they seem to come from a very good place, from a very healthy place. This is someone that can bring you blessings. The cards are showing me this person is bringing you blessings. So, what can you do during this time? Well, apart from remembering grace, here is showing me that at some point, this situation is going to be resolved. There's going to be some sort of a communication where, you'll be able to communicate with this person. And to remember when that happens, right? It may take a little bit for some of you. It may happen faster for other ones of you. But one of the things that you're being reminded here is that you need to be balanced, that you need to create more harmony in the way you offer your love. Okay? And this could be relationships of any kind, of any sorts. But you're being reminded, okay, that balance is important. It's a give and take. And just like people sometimes tend to have patience with you and, put up sometimes with some of your, stubbornness, that you also have to do the same. And that in a moment of conflict, trying to be aggressive and pushy and, stubborn to get your point across is not going to help. So then we have to start reflecting and, paying attention and look at ourselves and be honest with ourselves and look at those areas of our personality that tend to be limited in nature and seek information or knowledge that can help us overcome and, change that part of us, because we always have that opportunity, but we have to be willing to do that. And, I can relate to this, Capricorn, because, I have parents. They were born in the 1900s, and that's a generation that is very stubborn. They feel like if this is how they do things, that everybody has to do it in the way they do it, even if it doesn't work for them. So I can understand, especially for our generation, that it's a big conflict dealing with people that are so close-minded. So you're being asked as to, is that you? Are you being that close-minded? Are you being stuck in a rut, trying to do things the same and expect people to do it like you, even if it's not working for you? Are you being stubborn because it's hard for you to be flexible and understanding? Are you, shutting the door to someone that really cares for you and wants the best for you? If all of those things, are part of your situation right now, you're being asked, not the person, they're showing me here, you're being asked to extend your wings and become more flexible like the butterfly. So I hope that makes sense, because more clear than that is, it's just what they're telling me. So I cannot remain here and try to keep, putting more things. It's funny because, you may be going through a lot of things right now in your life, a lot of changes, because here talks of changes. But the energy that is coming out is this, and the need for you to apply it to every area of your life, and especially with a situation that you've had here with somebody younger. I mean, there's somebody younger or somebody older. Okay, it could work either way. But the situation is going to get resolved. So thank you so much for listening. I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you next time.